From Senegal to Sugar Hill, trace the bloodline. 100 years of brilliance through the color line. They thought the shackles broke but kept the mental chain. Langston penned the future while they legislated pain. Harlem's ballrooms birthed the cosmos in mahogany, while lynching trees still decorated southern botany. Josephine, Waker's pearls and Garvey's Navy ships. Du Bois debating destiny with scholarship on his lips. The Renaissance was a renaissance of West resistance, fam. Every trumpet blast from Armstrong was a battering ram. They gave us minstrel shows, we gave them Sora Neal. Turned depression into art, made the fabricated real. Cotton Club excluded us from tables every set. To form the Deanest Nightly, never free from the deck. But Bessie Smith could shatter glass, shatter cash, shatter lies. Every note she sang contained a revolution in the sky. Build temples from the rubble, make cathedrals from the struggle. Turn the margins to the center, now they study what we scribble. We build temples from the rubble, every generation double. The inheritance of genius that they try to keep us from. Fast forward through the decades, watch the pattern reassemble. Malcolm's speeches, Martin's marches, every voice begins to tremble to the earth until the structure shows its fractures. FBI was tracking every coon with every pastor, every actor. 40 acres never came but 40 minutes on a stage to reconvene your consciousness and channelize the rage. From bebop to hip-hop, the fool lines mathematical. Each generation weaponized the beautiful, the radical. They gave us Reagan out as crack and mass incarceration. We gave them Public Enemy and blueprints for liberation. The Harlem Renaissance never ended, just evolved its form. Every freestyle cipher is a brainstorm, is a storm. Where the children of the talented, the tenth that was prophesied, inherit the fire that the water couldn't wash aside. They tried to write us out the narrative. We offered all on text, 100 years of proof, and that we're destined. Where was next? Temples from the rubble, made cathedrals from the struggle. Turned the margins to the center, now they study what we scribble. We built temples from the rubble, every generation double. The inheritance of genius that they tried to keep us from.
All right. Hey, man. Welcome to Undergroove Podcast. Been a minute. What's happening in the community? You know, that's the question I want to ask the people, man, from the community, man. What's going on over there? All right. How are our brothers and sisters faring, you know, up and down Hoover Street? You know, let's be kind of specific in terms of who I'm talking to. I see the community in a continuous downward spiral, man. Most of our young brothers, man, our young homies and our young homegirls are continuing to just, you know, it seems just fall by the wayside. You know, more of you young brothers and sisters are finding yourselves, you know, being locked up, man, or, you know, finding yourselves in some type of situation that's not necessarily healthy, be that in terms of your physical health or even your physical freedom, you know. I hear a lot about, well, you know, the young homies or the younger generation don't listen to nobody, you know. I don't know. I beg to differ. I think that there are a lot of you brothers and sisters out there, man, you'll listen to the right people. You know, I'm not saying I'm one of them. I'm just saying, though, you guys listen to those who connect, you know what I mean, who not just want to always talk to you, but we're willing to hear you talk, you know, want to know what's on your mind, get shit off your chest, you know, because we all got something we want to say. I think when we approach a situation like that, especially, you know, for our young ones, you know, we give them an opportunity to, you know, speak their piece, you know. That's the thing with a lot of us older homies, you know, we tend to want to say everything, we know everything, and we're not willing to listen to some of the things need to be said from our younger loved ones. I'm the type of individual, man, if you know me, you know, hey, man, we could chop it up. You know, I'd rather hear what's on your mind, you know, what you think would make your life better, especially in this environment, you know. In this environment, it ain't just the fact that, you know, the community is, you know, in the downward spiral. Like I said, it's the fact that everything around us is just messed up, you know, for the most part. A lot of you young brothers and sisters, I tend to think that, you know, you're not really cool with the way your lives are. You know what I'm saying? If given opportunity, a lot of you young brothers would do something different, you know, especially if it provided some type of independence, you know. The main thing I notice about a lot of y'all want to have some money, all right? Who don't? You know, this is the system we're in, you know, and the system is, you know, it functions like that. You got to have money, you know, to be in the system, you know. Uh, My question, though, is if that's the case, how do you see yourselves getting the money? You know, what is it that you allow yourself to think of in terms of accumulating them dollars, you know, to go get whatever it is you want to get, you know? How do you go about getting that money? You know, in most cases, a lot of y'all, man, you think in terms, okay, man, let me go, you know, do what I do, you know, to get this bread in that process, or, you know, just the thought of the process. A lot of y'all realize like, damn, this could be my last leg, you know? That's not cool, you know, and I know that don't sit well with a lot of you brothers and sisters. So you're thinking and you're saying again, okay, how do I get this bread and still be here, you know, still be relevant, you know, because, you know, in terms of how you guys go about getting your money, it depending on how you go get it, there's a risk. There's a risk, you know, and based upon that risk, you know, it determine, you know, the percentages in terms of, you know, walking away with something, or, you know, getting a ride to somewhere. You know what I mean? How do you go about getting this money? You know, is there another way? It got to be. I think there is. But again, a lot of you minds aren't geared towards that just yet. I mean, I think it's something you think about, but it's something you haven't accepted just yet in terms of how to go about getting the shit and then have it, you know, come to you in a continuous manner, you know, where you ain't got to, you go get it today, but tomorrow you right back in the same place, you know. And I got to admit, jobs are like that too, you know what I mean? But the thing about a job, it provides a little more security. It provides a little more security. I'm not too keen on going to work for other people. You know what I mean? So if that's the mindset a lot of you have, I can respect that. I relate to that, you know. Then there's what, you know, what type of idea or business plan you have that would, you know, put you in a position where you work for yourselves, you know. That's always an option. That's an option, you know. But you got to have a plan. You got to know what it is you want to do to provide you and yours, because in most cases, a lot of you, not only you're really fending for yourselves, you got loved ones you have to look out for as well. So how do you go about getting this money, man, to where you getting it does not jeopardize your liberty, your freedom, you know, or your life? You know what I'm saying? There are a lot of ideas, I think, in the young minds of you brothers and sisters that could be uh, that could potentially be brought to fruition. But it's the effort. It's how you apply yourself to get this shit done. And you got to accept that, hey, man, it's not going to happen right now. You know, it's not going to happen right now. It may take some time to build that thing, to have that thing grow. You got to have that determination to ride it out, stick it through, you know, make some sacrifices. All that shit count. All that matters. It's more than just saying, okay, man, I got this idea, man, okay, and let me drop it. It's a bomb idea. In most cases, they may be, but that don't mean it's gonna pop overnight. It's gonna be the shit the next day. You know, it might be 6 months from now, might be a year. Who knows? The point is, though, is to stick with the program, to get on it and stay with it. You're giving yourself time, you know, you're out here. You're giving yourself not only time, but you're giving yourself um, with that time an opportunity to grow mentally, you know what I mean, to figure out what it is you want to do, how to go about doing it and sticking with it even when times get rough, because that's a guarantee. That's a guarantee. In first stages or an initial, you know, jump off, or you know, high takes off or whatever, hey man, it's gonna take time. All right. Now, if you have those ideas, you have a certain skill set, you know how to do something a lot of people can't do. You should invest in that. Your time deserves that. You know what I mean? Don't wait to get to prison, man. And you know, you sitting in that cell and your artwork, man, is the most impressive thing in the building or on the yard, but you can't really do nothing with it because you're incarcerated. Don't wait for that to happen. You know, put that energy in that work right here, right now, while you can, you know, and ride that shit out to until such a time you start to see the progress or the progression in your effort. You know, I think that matters. So, you know, for a lot of you brothers and sisters, like I said, man, it's become habitual where you'll get up in the mornings and, you know, the first thing in your mind is, and I think this is true for most of you, for most of us, first thing that's on our mind is money. How we gonna get it? You know, is it gonna be enough? Is it gonna come fast enough? Will it be enough? Will it last? You know, those are the things I think most of you ask yourselves, you know. The little pocket change you have for the moment, you go out, you know, you might want to get some fresh kicks, pair of jeans, a couple t-shirts, whatnot, you know, get your lungs right and shit. And before you know it, damn, okay, I done deducted from that amount, you know, and I got to put it back. How I'm going to do that and not risk my liberty, you know. I think the only thing to suggest, to, you know, give you guys advice on is, hey, again, have a plan. Stick to it. Stick to it. Make some sacrifices that you don't normally make, you know. Hanging out with the homies, you know, that hanging out with the homies time could be spent building your craft, perfecting your idea, you know, working out the kinks, you know, for your product or whatever the case may be. But you brothers and sisters need to start looking at it like that. You should address it just like that. That's your job. That's your work, you know. You're becoming independent, you know. You've gotten to the point where you know you got to get up, get out, and get it done. So you utilize that energy towards that, and know that anytime any of you brothers and sisters are on the right path, or you're trying to do something for yourselves, people see that shit. They recognize it, you know. They recognize the seriousness of it, the realness in it, and if that's the case, when they, you know, they're going to come assist you. Now, a lot might come with a lot of you know, things attached to it, because that's the way it is too sometimes, you know. People will profess or want to do something for you, but yeah, man, there's always, you know, a payback. You know what I mean? What's in it for me? You know, this is my cut. This is what I need from it. Da da da. You know, you're gonna experience that as well, but don't let that discourage you. Again, man, with what you want to do in terms of what you know your skills or your talents are, do it, but do it in the mind, or the, you know, with the mindset that there gonna be opportunities, you know, to make your thing, you know, grow or even move faster. You know what I mean? Get to the point where it's actually producing for you. Sometimes that calls for, or that takes you interacting with other people. And it's those people sometimes you got to be mindful of. You got to know your worth, man, know what you got going on, so that you don't sell it out or sell it too quick or lose it as a result of messing with the wrong people. The opportunity, though, to do something for yourself, it does exist. It does exist, you know, but it's only going to come to fruition through your effort. That's it. That's it. No one else is going to, you know, make your thing happen for you. You're going to have to do it. And again, you put that same energy into that, to improving yourselves, making your lives better, like you do when you hang out and do what you do. You know what I mean? You'll see the results, but you got to stick it out. You got to ride that wave, man, into such a point where, you know, hey, it's bringing you progress. It's getting you where you go, where you want to go, where you need to go. Again, that's not going to come just, you know, because you think it should, or it's not going to come as you sit idly by watching opportunities pass you by. It's not going to come as if something's going to fall out of the sky into your lap and there it is. You got it. It don't work like that. And I'm pretty sure y'all know that. You know, it requires that you get up and you handle business. You handle it. That's the only way to get it done, because no one else is going to do it for you, you know. But again, you'll have those people who recognize that you're trying to do something positive, do something productive for yourselves, and they will assist you. They will assist you. Not all support, not all assistance is good. There are a lot of ulterior motives attached to a lot of what people do for people, and you have to be mindful of that as well. you know. Um, but don't expect nobody to do nothing for you. Don't expect to get anything for free. It just doesn't work like that. Start to map out what you want to do in your life for you. Because I'm telling you, man, it holds something greater than what you're going through now, what you're probably experiencing now or have been experiencing for however long you've been in this struggle. Know y'all tired of the struggle. Most of us are. The only way out of the struggle is to struggle through it. You got to get through it. That's why it's there, though. It's there, man, to make sure that those who get through it earn their way. You fought through it. Struggle becomes a thing of the past. Now you're in a position, once you pass that barrier, that hindrance, now the road is open to you. You're going to move a little more fluidly. You're going to pick up a lot of shit along the way in that struggle. You're going to learn a whole lot. Don't be scared. Don't be afraid of that. Face that head on like you would anything else in the streets, if that's what you do. You know what I mean? But know that, man, there are individuals out here that give a fuck, that care, that care. It's just that a lot of them, they want to see that you care. How much do you care about you? I can love the fuck out of each and every one of y'all. That don't mean nothing if that's not what you're doing, or that's not, what you're giving to yourselves, that love, that opportunity. You got to do that, The main thing, though, why I'm saying this is to say, your lives are worth something. Don't be like the rest of your peers, those who no longer here. You got to want something better for yourselves, What's happening in the community, man, it ain't, it's not beneficial. It's not something that's going to bring you to or into a better situation in your life. You know what I mean? Every day it's the same thing. And again, it's as though you guys are living on borrowed time. That ain't how you want to live. I'm pretty sure of that. I'm pretty sure of that. And none of you want to live on borrowed time. When the time comes, whenever that may be, you want to be in a position to say, hey, man, I did what I did. And, I left something, you know what I mean? I left a mark, a positive mark, not necessarily a legacy or nothing like that, but you left your mark in terms of what you were doing to build yourself up, focus on that. So when the time does come, and let's hope that it comes in such a way that, okay, you were waiting on this because you expected it, you had a good life. You'd be able to look back and say, man, I remember when it was this bad. I remember when it was this rough. I recall when it got better. You remember when it became everything was supposed to be for you. You're going to remember that because of the effort you applied and you put into that. Again, man, what's happening in the community, it's not a good look. It doesn't hold a future for any of you. It doesn't hold a future for any of you, and you got to want better for yourself. I'm pretty sure most of you do. You want something better for your life. I can only imagine the thoughts you guys have, with yourselves or with each other in terms of how you see your life, and what you want for your life. I would love to hear that conversation. I would love to hear you young brothers and sisters talking about your aspirations, what motivates you, your dreams. I would love to hear that conversation, man. I promise you. Because I know in that conversation there's potential. gems and jewels that you guys have. Most of us we're not even aware of, you know. None of you guys want to be locked up in somebody's jail. I'm sure of that, man. Come on, man. None of you want your lives to end early. None of you want to put stress on your loved ones, your mothers, your fathers, your young brothers, sisters. I don't think anybody wants that, though our behavior tends to say otherwise. But, internally, mentally, this is not something you want for yourselves. I'm pretty sure of that. If that's the case, then you owe it to yourselves to do better. To find a way. Again, that's your work. The effort you apply to bringing something different to your lives, man, is your responsibility. Again, what's happening in the community, man, is not beneficial to you. You can love the community. By all means, love it. But not to the point it becomes your detriment, Don't love it to the point where it destroys you. You want to love it? Do something with yourselves. Do what's right for yourselves. Then you can come back to that same community and do something for that community if you choose to. Nothing wrong with loving the community, and I'm pretty sure you all want to see the community do better. I think that we all hope for that. We all hope for that, But that starts with you, the individual. The individual. In order to make the community good, a great place, you have to be good. Your efforts have to be great. They have to be on the level of, some stuff you ain't even been on yet. You have to elevate yourselves, man, out of that situation. You got to bring to yourselves more opportunities so that you can flex your potential, your gifts, your skills. You're not flexing them. You're not utilizing them, hanging around all day doing nothing. Thinking on the come up, Being idle brings you nothing. And for the most part, that's what a lot of you young brothers and sisters are. You're idle. You're idle. You're getting caught up in these lifestyles, these trends and all this stuff, man, that really, again, does not benefit you or your life. It's not going to bring anything positive to you, not living that way. Everybody can't be a rapper, man. Everybody can't trap. No one should be gangbanging. Just looking at, what's going on in our, in our lives again, just, in our lives and in our community, man, that shit is brought nothing to no one. A lot of grief. And there are good times hanging around loved ones, your peers, and, there are those moments, be etched in your brain. You'll remember them to the day you die, But the behavior of it, it's no good. It's no good. And that's coming from somebody that lived that life, I lived it, come around a whole lot of brothers and sisters that life. Ain't a lot of us left as a result of it. A lot of good loved ones gone because we did the same thing. We carried on the same way. A lot of us had to go and sit down on the shelf for a long time, wasting away our potential, wasting right along with, us, wasted lives, man, whole lifetimes. Purpose of me hollering at y'all is to, try to advise you brothers and sisters, say, man, don't go there, man. Trust me. It ain't worth it. You ain't gonna get nothing from it. You ain't gonna get nothing from it. And nowadays, man, reputations, you got a little money, you could buy a reputation. Reputations don't mean much anymore, you know? You got individuals who will TT on you and each other. They got reputations that make sense, you know? So don't look at it as, okay, man, well, you know, I'm so-and-so and I'm this, I'm that. It doesn't mean anything anymore, you know? And really, truthfully, it never really did. It's a part of the trap. You know, it was a part of the trap. It was there. It was devised to make us think less of ourselves. You know, we big bad individuals, okay, but we ain't had shit. We ain't had nothing. Couldn't take care of our families. Couldn't do shit we were supposed to do. We were more engrossed or concerned with a reputation that did nothing for us. They did nothing for us. We were more concerned about hanging out, you know, doing nothing, and we got nothing for it. So yeah, man, don't get stuck on that. You know, get stuck on you elevating yourself, empowering yourself, you know, to the point where you could do what the hell you want to do, provided that is productive. I'm telling you, productivity is, man, it's a good thing. It's a good thing, you know. It allows you to provide for yourself. It allows you a whole lot of other things, man, that you guys ain't even tapped into yet. Most of you, sad to say, probably won't get there. You know, because what I'm saying, you probably heard 100 times already, 1,000. You know, you just haven't decided to make that move yet. You know, I don't know if there's time. I don't know. But the same way I'm talking to you, I have a few people talk to me the same way. Didn't listen. And that goes for the majority of us. Like I say, man, you guys, y'all not the first to do this. You know, live the way you're living, you know. We did it too. Others did it before us. Others did it before them. And it's the same advice being passed all the time. It's the same thing almost. Damn near verbatim that we didn't pay attention to. And as a result, a lot of us lost our lives. A lot of us lost time, man, in somebody's prison, while the rest of us, our families, were out here going through it. You know, not able to help moms when you know she need help. Not able to raise and look out for little brother or sister when you know they need that, you know. Not able to take care of them babies, you know, when they need you. Not just their mama, they need you too. Not just their father, they need you too. So I'm speaking about both of you guys, black, you know, brothers and sisters. We have an obligation, man, you know, and for the most part, again, a lot of us ain't going to get that until it's almost too late. So what's happening in the community is that our brothers and sisters are not paying attention to what their lives are worth, to what their worth is. And we see it all the time. We see it every day. We see it every day. We don't see it on the streets. We see it on social media. Brothers and sisters place very little value on themselves, on their lives. Very little. Again, that's nothing new. You brothers and sisters have an opportunity to bring change to the game, to the streets, to the streets. You brothers and sisters have an opportunity to actually build something, because all the tools are here now, you know. You guys have tools we didn't have, you know. I ain't talking about guns. I'm talking about utilizing all the advantages of technology to your benefit. You guys had that. We didn't have that in our day, you know. We didn't have that, you know. So, yeah, take advantage of this, man. Take advantage of the opportunities that are there. Do what's right and best for you so that you can give yourself a chance. Because again, man, ain't nobody gonna do it for you. No one is gonna save you, especially when you aren't trying to save yourself. Save yourself and trip off the result of that. Once you start to do for you, trip off the support you'll be getting, the recognition you'll get. If recognition is a thing, again, a lot of young brothers want reputations, but for all the wrong reasons. Some reputations harm you. You'll stunt your growth, your advancement. And some reputations will help you to grow, help you to excel, help you to get somewhere. Take advantage of that stuff, man. Take advantage of it. What's happening in the community, it needs to end. Because nobody wins, man. Nobody. I don't care about none of that stuff, man. Utilize your time, man, to do something good for you. Utilize your time, man, correctly, positively, or in a positive manner, or in such a way where, guess what? Moms ain't stressing. She know what you're about. She see you. She see you doing the damn thing now. Moms get to breathe a sigh of relief. Do something for yourself that would do something or help change the community you come from. And if you doing for yourself improves you and you don't want to do nothing for that's fine. As long as you're taking care of yourself and you're doing what you need to be doing to stay alive and to stay free. That's really what matters. And as long as you're free and you're alive, you have access to all these other things. All these other things will come into play at some period, point, or in time, Take advantage of it. Give yourselves a chance, right? Give yourselves an opportunity to do something different, to flex your talents, your gifts, and those skills y'all got, Like I say, man, I love to sit down with you brothers and sisters and chop it up. I'm telling you, there's a lot y'all know I like to know. I call myself dealing with this technology shit. I just don't get it. I still don't really understand it. And I kind of wish I, had a young individual, loved one, show me the ropes, But again, it's about you guys doing something for yourselves. You can do that, all right? But only when you guys get to the point where you realize that your lives are valuable. There's value in your life. Believe that. And I just said that it has more than one meaning. There's value in your life, but that value should only apply to you. You should be the only one benefiting, progressing, getting something for your life. There are other values attached to your life. You don't want those values. You don't want those values to benefit somebody else. That's the other side of the value of your life, and you won't receive nothing from it. They will, though. And I'm not talking about that other brother and sister that look just like you. I'm talking about the system. In the system, your life has a value. You won't reap none of the benefits from it, though, if you continue to go down the road you're on. But if you decide to step off that road, get on the sidewalk, man. Get out the way. Get out your own way. And start realizing what your values are. And benefit as a result of coming to the realization of what you're worth. That's the business, man. That's the business. All right. I just want to drop that, man. Send that love out there to you young brothers and sisters. And I don't really, technically, I don't care where you're from, you know, because none of that actually matters, man. Again, because no one's benefiting from it. No one's benefiting from it, you know. So this is to brothers and sisters, period. Period. Own your own lives, man. Recognize the value of your life and benefit from it. Make sure that you do, because if you don't, someone else will. All right. And you won't see a dime of it. All right. That being said, man, peace to you, young brothers and sisters, you know, and just know, man, that, you know, the power's in you to do what the hell you want to do in terms of productivity, positivity, you know, prosperity and peace. That's y'all's call. It's y'all's call. No one else's, man. Take advantage of your opportunities. You are the opportunity. All right. Take advantage of it. All right. Peace, y'all. Take care of yourselves.
Count the names, count the bodies, count the victory. Cullen Hughes, Hurston, writing future history. From the Apollo to the Borough to the Sphere, where the echo of those Harlem nights still ringing clear. So when they ask what happened in those tenement flats, between the spirituals and where consciousness is at, tell them we transform suffering to scholarship and song. Tell them we've been telling you we're brilliant all along. The Renaissance will prologue every decade since the sequel. Every black child born's continuation of the people who survived the Middle Passage, survived the Jim Crow laws, and built magnificence from nothing but their vision and their flaws. That's in the sergeant. This is once a less than Actors, actors, and reciters. Please don't you, I can't stop us. Power sensitive, watch you, the applause for polls. Need your data, tropes, and constant any problem when the wet just wanna build the season. Bait, now don't get the pause. It's just erasing up the times. Plead the markets off the main. Make it honor fans, turn the neck and love the dirt. Suffer like a kesha. You were wrong to preaching up on side as each alone, bitch on the shit and untrue seeing vets. Someone the very inch on Gary Land. Be hell in heaven, you see what the bound in. If wait something for the marker, make the kitchen pull the club and saw the boards to the singer land is carried open slowly. Keep us looking on my mother, break it, and resi for the he and let the blessed be. It's every time we keep a spawn.